Good day everyone, I'm Wanya and I'll be talking about Republic Act number 7277. So what exactly is RA 7277? It establishes the rights and advantages of disabled people as well as their integration into society. The state recognizes disabled persons as members of society and recognizes that their entire potential must be developed and improved in order for them to achieve overall well-being and become independent and effective members of society. As a result, Republic Act 7277, Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, was enacted to ensure their rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance, resulting in the acquisition of necessary skills and capabilities to play an important role in the community. Every citizen should be involved in granting disabled people the same rights as any other person in society. Disabled people, like any other people, should be able to live as free and independent lives as possible, free from discrimination from the society to which they belong. The rehabilitation of disabled people should be oriented toward community-based programs to encourage full support and participation from the community's various sectors. The private sector is also encouraged to expand their role as a state partners in society to promote the welfare of disabled people through programs that address their specific special needs. As a result, disabled people can develop their full potential and eventually lead productive and fulfilling lives. The state encourages everyone to respect disabled people in order to facilitate their integration into mainstream society. It also makes every effort to eliminate barriers that limit the capabilities and potentials of disabled people. If non-disabled persons have rights, disabled have rights also. Persons with disabilities have a right to live the same way as any other human being. Their disability is not a hindrance to live a fruitful and fulfilling life. PWDs get married, have children, go to work, and play sports like everyone else. They are not a burden on the community, their family, or friends. PWDs have the same right as everyone to take part in society.
RA 7277, also known Magna Carta for PWDs, is an act of rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled person and their integration into the mainstream of society and for other purposes. There are 7 rights and privileges of PWDs. First is education. Education recognizes the right of persons with disabilities to quality education and to develop their abilities and skills to thrive in life. Next is political and civil rights. It recognizes the right of persons with disabilities to vote and to be assisted by his person of choice in both local and national elections. Next is telecommunications. Telecommunications is enabling access to communication and technology to promote and implement accessibility for PWD's specific needs. Next is accessibility. Accessibility ensures the attainment of a barrier-free environment that will enable to have access in public and private buildings and establishments. So the next one is health, wherein it reinforces the right of persons with disabilities to attain the disability prevention, recognition, early diagnosis of disability, and rehabilitation. Next one is auxiliary social services. Social welfare to undergo physical, social, and vocational rehabilitation shall be provided to restore their functioning and community participation. And the last one is employment. So it states that no entity shall discriminate against a qualified person with disability by a reason of the individuals in procedures, hiring, promotions, and the like.
And to wrap this discussion, may I give highlight to this word, accessibility. RA 727 breaks the boundaries which sets our dear persons with disabilities away from the needed and normal things that we should all experience. This act is a step closer towards a more embracing and accepting community. The creation of this act may not be as smooth as we expected it to be. It has faced criticisms, invalidities, misinformation, and even went near to its own redemption. Nevertheless, regardless of anything, it happened. It needed to happen. Indeed, this Republic Act is relevant to education, for there is a special section which signifies the rights and privileges of persons with disabilities when it comes to the access of education. Under Section 7, which was titled Educational Assistance for Persons with Disabilities, it is stated that educational assistance shall be granted to persons with disability to pursue primary, secondary, tertiary, and even post-tertiary as well as vocational or technical education in both public and private schools and authorized technical vocational institutions through the provision of scholarships, grants, financial aids, subsidies, and other incentives to qualified persons with disability. It also includes support for books, learning materials, and uniform allowance to extent feasible, provided that persons with disability shall meet minimum admission requirements set by the Department of Education and other organizations which admits such. And of course, for the Board of Persons with Disability who wish to pursue tertiary education by means of scholarships, grants and aids, and student loans. The Department of Education, as well as the Commission on Higher Education and TESDA, shall also ensure that all public and private schools, colleges, and universities are informed about the provision and educational assistance for persons with disabilities. With that being said, RA 727 truly amplifies the rights and privileges of our dear persons with disabilities. For this group, this is not just an act which was needed to be implemented. It is also a promise of a lifetime that everyone belongs and everyone can freely live to the way they want it to be, regardless of what we have and regardless of what we don't.